Courtney, dozens of personnel with multiple different agencies came together today on the Neuse River as a team with the goal of saving lives during a plane crash simulation. Practice makes perfect, they say, and that was put to the test today in New Bern. The Neuse River became a training ground full of first responders on boats rushing and patrolling the waters during a plane crash simulation.
It get us all together to pretty much communicate, especially this mass incident like this. I mean, we don't often get chance to work together as a team.
A team of around 60 first responders ranging from the Coast Guard, the NC Marine Patrol, New Bern Fire and EMS, and others to test for the worst case scenario of a plane crash with over 50 casualties, ranging in severity to test each agency on their readiness and response. But they're not real bodies, they're actually pool noodles, each with their own different name and age that they're looking for.
It should be some great training, not just for the county, but as well for the state.
The NC Marine Patrol invited me out on the Neuse River at Lawson Creek Park, where they took me near Union Point Park to get a first-hand look at what goes into a search and rescue mission. For the Coast Guard, which is normally the first to be called to scenarios like this, today's exercise is a great way to get hands-on experience.
You know, if something goes wrong, we're going to have a lot of lessons learned and be able to improve that. So in the event of a real scenario, we'll be able to respond effectively.
And for others who are not normally called to the water for a mass casualty plane crash scenario, like Officer Cameron, he says he learned a lot and feels prepared after Thursday's training exercise.
You don't communicate what you need for that incident, you're not going to get whatever resource you need for the scene. So communication is the key learning objective that I learned today.
And when I went and spoke with the Craven County Emergency Services and asked if they found all 50 missing bodies, or pool noodles, I should say, they said that they did and treated each one of them effectively. Reporting live in New Bern, Stephen Glover, WITN News.
Sounds like it went well. All right, thanks, Stephen. Now, today's exercise was coordinated and led by the Craven County Emergency Services and the Craven County Sheriff's Office.
This is Evan Sterling. He has a knack for playing guitar, and get this, he's only been playing for 5 months. Playing songs by his favorite bands and artists like Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, the Blue Oyster Cult, and other classic rock greats. His love for the instrument started when his dad gifted him his first electric guitar for Christmas.
I played every day, all the time, could not put it down.
But after getting used to playing that guitar for 2 months, it was time for an upgrade.
And I was thinking about, you know what, I think I'm ready to buy a new guitar, save up money, go to work every day, get what I need for it.
So Evan and his father decided to check out Guitars Etc. in Havelock. They were testing some out when another customer approached them.
He's listening to me play, he's like, hey, you sound pretty good. I think nothing of it because he walks out, I don't see the guy again for a minute.
But the stranger came back with a guitar case. Inside was this Telecaster worth over $1,500.
And then he just says, it's yours. Just straight up, and he walks out.
Evan and his father were shocked.
When he walked out and the owner mentioned, no, he's serious. That guitar is yours. I've seen him do things like this before. I was just in disbelief.
Gary says a few weeks ago, Evan was asked to share his baptism testimony at a conference and believes this gift is more than just an act of kindness by the mystery man.
Has anybody been praying for Evan after this? Because he just got a blessing that we didn't see coming.
And Evan says the gift inspired him to return the favor.
Someday in the future, I want to pay it forward, maybe buy a super expensive guitar and give it to some kid, just in some way.
And Evan and his father, while in still disbelief, said they went back inside and spoke with the owner and other employees and said that this mystery man is known for his act of kindness. Reporting live in Havelock, Stephen Glover, WITN News.
Fishermen and shrimpers from across the east are protesting outside the legislative building in Raleigh. Stephen Glover has been covering the shrimp trawl amendment in the Senate this week and has more.
Yeah, and it looks as though that every shrimper in eastern North Carolina made their way to Raleigh to voice their concerns over the proposed House Bill 442. But it's not just them, but on the other side as well, voicing their concerns about shrimp trawling and its effects. Shrimpers are sounding the alarm with no shrimp trawl protest early this morning in Raleigh. And it's not just from our state. Shrimpers in South Carolina are also coming to stand in opposition of the new amendment that passed just last week that would ban intercoastal shrimping in inland waters up to a half-mile off the coast.
They are violating our inalienable right to pursue our jobs and our livelihoods. I have never seen a bill that would just cut jobs permanently amended into a bill at a later date like this.
And as the last state in the country that still allows the practice of harvesting shrimp in our juvenile fish nurseries and killing hundreds of millions of juvenile fish before they have a chance to reproduce, is time to end.
Earlier, fishing and shrimping associations met at 10 a.m. inside for a news conference to speak on the proposed amendment. And House Bill 442 is currently concurred and waiting to go back to the House. And there's also coming June 30th a new study to show the effects of shrimp trawling within our coastal waterways. In Raleigh, Stephen Glover, WITN News.
Now, that new study showing the effects of shrimp trawling within our coastal waterways will be presented to the House to review. A woman has been cited after getting too close to a foal on the Rachel Carson Reserve earlier this month. Wild horses are a mainstay here in eastern Carolina, but recent close calls with visitors at the reserve and along Shackleford banks have some worried about the animal's safety. Stephen Glover joins us live in Beaufort after spending the day at the Rachel Carson Reserve, speaking with officials and residents about their concerns. Stephen?
Yeah, Courtney, Caroline Linden was cited after trying to feed and pet a newborn foal on the reserve. But earlier this month, that same foal was also separated from its mother after a group of visitors got on the reserve and spooked it. And those I spoke with earlier say that what needs to be addressed is the visitors and the wild horses interaction, not only for the horses' safety, but also the people. Wild horses are part of the fabric of eastern Carolina. But recently, actions by visitors are causing the relationship between people and the horses to fray. After running off when a visitor got too close, this week's-old foal is back with its mother.
The mother ended up about a quarter mile away at almost dark, so we had to intervene and lift the foal onto the boat and take it back to the mother.
Caroline Linden, another visitor, was given a civil citation after getting too close to the same foal while at the Rachel Carson Reserve.
There is an ordinance in place to protect the horses because any disturbance of their natural behaviors, it truly causes a disruption. And especially when you're talking about a foal and the early stages of life, it can really be detrimental and dangerous.
With more people coming to see the wild horses on Shackleford Banks and the reserve, getting too close and personal with the animals is becoming a problem.
So we're having more interactions between the horses and people.
But it's not just horses that could be in danger.
Sometimes they might come out of nowhere with protective behavior such as biting or kicking. We don't want people to get hurt.
Captain Monty Pooling volunteers with the wild horses. He invited me on his boat to see the wild horses from afar. For him, the rules are simple.
We don't want to try and pet them. We don't want to try and feed them. It interferes with their life and how they survive out here on these islands. So I think the best thing is to try not to interact with them and just enjoy the beauty that we have literally a couple hundred yards off the town of Beaufort.
And while the reserve welcomes everyone to come out and see the wild horses, Gilligan adds that it's best to do so from at least 50 feet. Reporting live in Beaufort, Stephen Glover, WITN News.
Yeah, like you mentioned, enjoy from a distance. All right, thank you, Stephen.
Carteret County Sheriff Asa Buck led a drug bust just outside of Morehead City, targeting suspected dealers in a sweeping undercover raid. Stephen Glover rode along with the sheriff and has the story.
WITN rode along with Carteret County Sheriff Asa Buck for what he calls an undercover drug raid right outside Morehead City limits at 1820 Morris Road, where Buck says they received word of a drug operation at a home.
So our detectives have conducted a multi-month investigation. They've developed probable cause to obtain a search warrant on this residence, and we've come out here to serve that search warrant today.
Just before 5 p.m., Sheriff Buck and deputies prepared with breaching gear, tactical vest, and had a rundown on the operation just minutes before executing a search warrant of the suspected home. Then it was time to head to the home, where undercover agents and sheriff deputies breached a home and handcuffed a man and a woman for alleged drug possession and selling of methamphetamine, cocaine, and pills.
To the people that are breaking the law and to the general public, we're not putting up with this crap. We don't want people selling drugs in our communities. I don't care what drug it is, whether it's fentanyl or any other drug. We're not going to accept it. And so we always send the message to the dealers and the criminals. If you keep doing this, we're going to investigate you and we're going to arrest you and prosecute you.
One Carteret County resident is glad to see the action by the sheriff.
Nobody in the county wants none of that around. Just causes too much problems and people can get hurt, and it's just one more thing for us all to worry about. And when I don't like to be surrounded by it, so what he's doing the right thing.
A day in the life of NC Marine Patrol officers is exciting, and today 6th to 9th graders got a taste of what it's like. Our Stephen Glover had a chance to join cadets during the Junior Marine Patrol Academy, and he's live in Morehead City with more. Stephen?
Yeah, Courtney, and what an adventure it was as dozens of middle schoolers from across the state gathered along the Crystal Coast to get hands-on experience on what it takes to become an NC Marine Patrol officer. From learning high-speed boat maneuvers to getting up close and personal with marine life, these middle schoolers or junior NC Marine Patrol cadets are getting first-hand experience in the life of an NC Marine Patrol officer.
So we've got the Junior Marine Patrol Academy. It's our second annual. We had last year was our first one. And what we're doing is we're giving these kids the opportunity to come learn a little bit of what we do as a career and how we do it.
And these cadets are finding the fun and the challenge.
My mom told me it was going to be like a boot camp. I don't know. I thought it was going to be scary, but it wasn't scary at all. It was really fun.
I really like it. I think my favorite part so far has been tying knots.
But these cadets aren't just learning boat safety and enforcement. They're also learning how to master navigation, survival, marine science, and the critters that live beneath the waves, but also why it's important.
It's really important to teach our youth how to protect the things in our environment. We have to set limits on fish, we have to set limits on different things so that the resource will last into future generations.
And this 5-day free academy is already sparking career interest for many of the young cadets like Morgan Wallace.
I told my grandma this morning, I was like, I might want to do this when I'm older.
Cadet Wallace says she's urging others to seize the adventures of what the Marine Patrol has to offer.
Go do it. Don't be scared. It's fun. I mean, this is like a once-in-a-life opportunity, so.
And the academy in Morehead City runs from June 9th to June 13th. And the other next one is in Nags Head that begins next week. Reporting live in Morehead City, Stephen Glover, WITN News.
It does look like a lot of fun. All right, thanks, Stephen. Now, applications for the Junior NC Marine Patrol Academy open in January.